All right, troops, welcome to the Actual Eat. My name is Owen. I'm joined by my friends J-Man and Sean. How are you guys?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you, Sean? Good.
Okay.
Usual casual chat tonight. Sort of nothing sort of specific, but now neither of you guys have watched the Tomorrow War yet, have you?
Oh, I saw it last
I think
night.
Sean saw it. Yeah.
What did you think?
I liked it.
Oh, wow.
Maybe because I didn't expect much, but it's funny because I saw the trailer and it seemed like a predictable, like there's going to be an Act 3 twist and it won't be what they think it is or something like that. So last night I was working and I was like, let me turn it on the TV beside me and I'll have it keep me company. And that was a big mistake because there's mega action. It's like every time there's a big action scene, I'm like, I have to stop and watch it. So about half an hour in, there's some good action. You can see there's creatures and you can see them, so that's great. And there's some good action battles. I mean, there's a whole daylight battle with one of the big creatures at the end. So I liked it. I see a lot of negativity about it, but I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I keep seeing like someone had commented, I don't understand the 1-star reviews, and I was like, how could anybody give that film 1 star? Is beyond me.
It's not earth-shattering, but like it doesn't change the game or anything. But it's pretty cool. I liked it.
Yeah. I mean, I give it 3.5 out of 5. I almost gave it 4. But I thought the only things which I didn't really like about it was there's some really like super obvious foreshadowing, especially the kid with the volcanoes. You're like, oh wow, he's going to be useful later.
But I like that though. It's what's going to happen, but it's fun when it does.
Mm-hmm. So, but also. Like, I really like Chris Pratt. I think he's a good actor. There's John there.
Yeah, but Chris Pratt, people are like, he's a religious guy or something, so now they don't like him.
So now they don't like him,
that's like the Twitter thing. As though they're best friends with them, and he's forcing them to go to church every Sunday. Like,
he's an alt-right guy, right? So
not sure.
He hides that because he's Disney, so.
Yeah. Hello, John. Welcome to the stream. Can we hear you and everything okay?
I hear you guys. Can you hear me?
You sound a bit far away. Can you turn the volume up a bit?
Do you have earbuds that you can plug in?
Yeah, you're better putting earbuds in.
Or like a mic, because like ours have like mics next to them. Well, I guess Sean doesn't have a mic. Sean's like...
No, but I'm right next to my computer. Right?
I see. You're like super close. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I'm gonna watch it for sure. So
yeah, Chris Pratt, like, he tones down the smarminess in this one. So I mean, he's still sort of playing Chris Pratt, right? The other characters I like too, but the one guy that talks too much, he tones it down later on because he's seen shit by the end of it, right? So yeah,
I really liked him. Yeah, I thought they really got. But John, we're talking about the Tomorrow War, needless to say. Just talking about generally how awesome it was. But I thought there was this real sort of intensity, and I loved how it sort of captured how scary it would be. And was it Charlie? Was that his name? No, the guy who's scared. I can't remember his name.
Charlie. Yeah,
Clarence? Charlie.
I think it's Charlie. Yeah.
I can't remember, but I can't see. But I just liked his reaction because I thought he would be generally how most people would react, where you would be absolutely terrified in that sort of situation, not knowing what you're going to see, and this like nightmare that awaits.
Well, they make a big point of saying they're recruiting just regular people, and it's all older people, so it's like moms and dads and things. And it was like the one dude with the chef's hat we didn't see enough of after that. It's like, the man's got a chef's hat, and it's like
he needs his own spin-off.
They all have some weirdo thing, and it's just like they he's trying to save that one person in that tunnel. And that old lady's like, go on without me, and you never really see that in that sort of age group, right? She just looks like a suburban mom or something like that, and she has to like fend off the aliens and whatever they are. So yeah, no, I thought it was really cool. Like, it was really a breath of fresh air. Right? I mean, there are some tropes, but it's entertaining. And it's not the steaming crap that it seems everyone else is trying to make it out to be.
I know. So, I really don't understand the negativity surrounding all these poor reviews. I mean, like I said, I very nearly gave it 4 stars, but I thought 3.5 was better just because of the obvious like foreshadowing and things like that. And then although I said sort of the pacing sort of slows down a little, it was never boring or dull. It's characterization, and there's some really genuine, heartfelt moments which I wasn't expecting. You're sort of expecting this generic sort of Independence Day style movie, but this avoided the cheese and went straight for more human drama, which I thought really worked a lot better. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. I would watch it again.
Yeah, me too.
J.K. Simmons makes every film better.
Yeah, he's cool too.
I don't understand people's rating system, so that's the problem. Like when I rate a movie on my channel, I literally I do my space reviews is what we call it, right? Is what I call it. And then I literally boil it down, right? It's like story pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment, and you get a score out of 10. And I literally tell you how I got that 10. People just be like, oh, it's 2 stars, 2 out of 10. Like, how did you arrive? By my theory, no movie should be less than 5 out of 10 unless you're getting into really garbage territory, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 2.5 out of 5 means it was an average okay movie. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Like if you start going below that, then you're getting into, the story was really, really bad, or I hated all the characters, or, nothing should really, any movie you just put in, you throw in Army of the Dead, right? It's like, well, that should automatically be 5 out of 10, unless like some really garbage things happen where you start removing stars. But these people just saying 1 out of 10, like what are you watching? Like, or what movie are you comparing this to? Like, I saw the trailer for it and I thought, this looks okay. Like just from the trailer, I'm thinking in my head, it's gonna be like a 6, 7, you know what I mean? Like I could just kind of tell, like I feel like it's going to be a 6 or 7. Sean, I don't know what you rated.
Yeah, I just did my space and it's 7.5. So
7.5.
It's 1.5 for everything. So
right,
7.5.
So that's about 3.5 out of 5 then, which is what I gave it.
Yeah, so it works out.
Yeah,
anyway, it's a neat science fiction thing. We don't get. I know it's probably based on a book or something, but we don't get like original sci-fi concepts in movies anymore. And I appreciate that this. I mean, you can easily make a sequel if you wanted to, but I appreciate that this was a story that wrapped it up.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
and didn't say like, well, like for next time, this other stuff. Like, it's not trying to set up things. Because I was a little surprised by that. I'm not going to spoil it, but like at one point I'm like, oh, there's like more movie after this, because I checked the timeline and I'm like, oh, I guess they're gonna wrap it up. I guess they're gonna do the thing, right? So yeah, no, I thought it was cool. So 7.5 for me.
Yeah. So John, I know you enjoyed it too. Let's see if we can hear you. So, what were your thoughts on the Tomorrow War?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah. Just project your voice loudly.
Yeah. Well, I've always been accused of being a loud talker, but yeah, I posted. Well, I didn't write my review yet. I just watched it last night, and I worked today, so I haven't had a chance to write it yet. But I posted on Facebook that I think it's one of my favorite movies of the year so far. I was with you guys. Like I watched the trailer, and I'm like, yeah, this looks all right, And like I said last time we were talking about Chris Pratt came up, and I said sometimes I like earlier Chris Pratt, I found him kind of annoying, but he's clearly becoming he's already a leading man, but he's becoming one of my favorite leading men. He's just like so natural and so like guy next door. Like I love the part where he's like, they're not even telling him what's going on, and they're like, here, put your arm in here. And he's like, oh, and he's like, why are you putting a seatbelt on me? It's like, and it's just like, he's funny. And, he's just like down to earth, and he's probably like that in real life. But then like, some people were complaining to me about how slow it was at the beginning, and I'm like, well, that was build up. Like you were getting to know him and his family, and it's like you build it up so you get to know people, so that when shit happens, it's like, ooh, you actually care about what's happening to these people. Yeah. Because once it starts, it doesn't stop. And like at that first encounter with the aliens, I was like, I was watching it in my bedroom, and I was like, I had the covers on, but I'm starting to sweat and stuff like that. It's like, it was that entertaining. And when you first see the aliens, those things, I thought they were badass. I mean,
terrifying.
That's a lame name. I was like, that's the best you can come up with. Is
it's a terrible name.
They shot the spikes out of their, out
Yeah.
of their tentacles. But that first scene was like, and like Sean was saying about the lady, and it was funny how like these people are thrust into the situation, and it's like they have no idea what to do, but all of a sudden they just rise to the occasion. She's like, go on, and she becomes like Rambet or something, and she just starts firing her machine gun and everything. I thought that was pretty awesome. But that whole scene, that was like one of the best action sequences I've seen in a long time. It was just exciting, and it was like nail biting for me. So,
yeah.
But the whole movie, and I thought it was the only bad part was it's not on a big screen, because that movie deserves to be seen on a big screen. And I'm sure you guys probably already said it if you haven't yet, but I was watching it on my TV, and I got a 75-inch, which is, a pretty good size, but that needed to be seen on the largest screen possible, because the special effects, I thought, there's special effects that are okay. There's special effects that take you out of it. And like, and I know you always complain about bad CGI. So do I. But like the special effects in this, they pretty much drew you in, and it was it was believable. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, the aliens were, because normally, and I read your review, Owen, just like actually like about half an hour ago, and you said how they're always, usually the aliens are always like bugs, and I liked how they were just like these. Xenomorphs got nothing on these things, man. I thought these things would just totally tear those things apart. So I enjoyed it a lot.
They've got all the gimmicks. They've got the claws. They've got like they can glide like a.
That was cool.
like a flying badger or something.
Yeah,
like
and they're flying.
They have tentacles.
Flying.
Any animal thing, it's like they have it, So
Yeah.
No, that opening, that not opening, but that first action scene was what surprised me, and I was like, oh, this is a movie that's really trying to go for it. So then I sat down and tried to watch it, because I tried to just have it on in the background, but I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really trying to be a real actual movie. So
I mean, because I remember when I saw the trailer, I was like, the effects don't look that great. And then whenever I watched it, and I was like, no, the effects were excellent in it. I thought the explosions looked awesome, and there was lots of shootouts, and I loved Yvonne Strahovski in it as well. I thought she brought a real heart to it, really likable and tough at the same time. A few twists, a lot you saw coming, but aside from that, I was like, no, you know what, this is a good time. I'm really enjoying it. I don't understand the poor ratings.
No,
for it at all.
The trailers made it look like something else, though. It didn't make it look like an action thing with aliens, because the way it made it look. And maybe I'd have to go back and watch those trailers again, but it looked like there's going to be a big twist. It's not what it appears to be, right? Like these guys from the future come to recruit people and to fight a future war because they're running out of people. And it just seems like, and then it won't be what they think. And it's really sinister and stuff like that. But then when the aliens showed up in the movie, I'm like, there's really, like, they didn't show the aliens in the trailer. So I was like, there really are aliens. They're really fighting them. That's awesome,
And just that build up to them appearing was great as well, when they're in the building, whatever. And then I just thought it worked really well. And I'm going to stop continuing, because I want J-Man to watch it at some point.
I'll watch it this weekend. Yeah,
I don't want to just spoil it any further, but really fun time. Don't listen to the 1-star reviews; they're terrible. But
you can't trust anybody. That's the thing.
I know. I think me and John have discussed this before. We actually hate doing reviews. Like, I hate giving something a star rating, because sometimes it changes. Like I'll watch a film one time and I'm like, oh, you know what? That's a 4-star film, and I watch it again and be like, well, it's a 3.5-star film or whatever. It's only half a star, but still, I hate giving something a rating. So that's a lot of the time why I like going back and saying, revisiting such a movie where I can just talk about the movie without having to give it a rating out of 5, because
you can't pass judgment like a few hours after you've seen something, but that's the name of the game for reviews, right? And then you realize like a year later, it's like, it's it's not that good, or it's even better than I thought, right? It has to age in your head.
I used to never give ratings. The only reason I developed the space system is that we were talking, because I'm talking about movies and stuff, I wanted to sort of rationalize my thoughts of, how I got to the enjoyment. Like, I really liked it, or I didn't. And people would be like, well, what did you like? What didn't you like? And then I tried to come up with like a very simple system. And Sean and I have tested it 4 million. I've had this for, Sean, how long? 10 years, or I don't know how long, maybe more than that.
10 years,
Maybe 10 years, And it's literally worked, and it's a very fair system to say what is your rating. But the problem is that that's still just a rating. I mean, we can boil down a movie and deconstruct it and be like, okay, the storyline and this and that. But at the end of the day, you're like, look, man, I like Friday the 13th Part 2. Like, I don't care that the story wasn't up to snuff or whatever, right? Like, I don't care. Like, so that's why even when I do my comic stuff, I always give my thoughts. Like, I never say review, because I've had people say, well, you're not even they actually nail me. They're like, well, you're not really reviewing this. I'm like, I know, it's not called a review. It says, J-Man's thoughts. I'm just giving you my thoughts, and that's, and I get into arguments because people really want you to give this some sort of number or something, but you can't trust it, because people nowadays review people. They don't review the film. So people don't like Chris Pratt because they think he's, too far on the right, or because he's a religious guy. So they're like, well, this is a shit movie. Okay, well, that doesn't make any sense. It's like Amber Heard. Now all of a sudden anything she does is garbage. Look, I like Amber Heard in Aquaman. I'm not her friend in real life. I'm not going to be her friend in real life. I don't care about her. But people can't separate that. It's like if Zack Snyder makes a movie, all the Snyder fans are going to just say this is the best movie ever, except for Sucker Punch. That Sucker Punch, for whatever reason, doesn't get that treatment. But like Army of the Dead, they're like, it's so great, it's the best. I'm thinking, yeah, it's an okay, by the numbers zombie movie.
Yeah,
right?
it was all right. Yeah.
It's okay. It's fine. It's like a 5 or 6 out of 10. That's not a bad rating. But people are dying over it because they love Zack so much that they want to like make the rating go up. It's like, but Zack Snyder's not your friend. He doesn't care about you. He's not your friend. It's like,
one thing I would say about like this in comparison to if I want to compare it to Army of the Dead, is that Army of the Dead was made to be like a theater movie / Netflix, same as this one is like theater movie / Prime. This looks like a movie through and through, whereas Army of the Dead looks like a TV movie at times. It's cheap looking. It doesn't look as theatrical as this one does.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It looks like made for Netflix or whatever. It looks like a
But this doesn't. I mean, the scale to it, as John said, I would love to have seen it on the big screen with your loud sound and everything. I would have loved that. That would have been great. So yeah, Tomorrow War, we all enjoyed it, so definitely worth checking out. And we have Severio's here tonight. Hello, Severio. How are you? Sorry it took so long to respond. We were deep in chat there. But also, more importantly, I got a haircut. This is the first time I've ever been live without a hat on, because I look all pretty. But more importantly, check this shirt.
Oh yeah, The Vice.
Oh yeah, it's my favorite show of all time. Love it. So we're also this week marks the 35th anniversary of Big Trouble in Little China. How did that happen?
Oh man,
Where did it go?
I remember that when that came out, I was like, I was the only person who got it, or what in my friend group. I'm like, this is kind of genius. It's like, I actually think every single part of that movie is genius, including the poster, which shows Jack Burton, me. He says Jack Burton, me, right? and he's like huge. He's like, yeah. And then he absolutely sucks in this movie. He's got a one trick thing, which is he can catch stuff, and he's terrible. He's the sidekick who thinks he's the hero, and the poster thinks he's the hero. And he's walking around as though he's the hero. And when he shoots the roof and he gets knocked, and he's knocked out for the entire sequence, he wakes up, it's like, yeah. And you're like, you've done nothing. And he talks big, and it's like this big American trucker badass guy who's in China. And the little Chinese guy is the guy that kicks the shit out of everybody. And Jack just like, get out of the way. But he's got all the one-liners, which is great. The guys with the three storms, based right out of Lone Wolf and Cub or whatever. That's like literally right out of, and that's right out of Lone Wolf and Cub, the Three Masters of Death, or Shogun Assassin, as some people watch it here, which is the crap version where they merge the two movies. But like, I mean, like, those guys are awesome. I should have brought out, I have they did reaction figures, and I've got the whole set of all of them, Jack Burton and Gracie Law and the Three Storms and Lopan. And Lopan, like, is so awesome. Now, Sean, did you see that with me in the theater when they replayed it?
No.
Oh my God. Every line of dialogue where people are screaming it out. It's like, I was born ready, you know, like, you know what old Jack Burton says? The check is in the mail.
One of the most quotable movies ever. Like the script was great. It's
gonna take Cracker Jack timing. It's like, you ready? I was born ready.
Have you ever read the sequel comic?
No.
Yes, I did get the comic, and I got the Escape from New York comic, and I got the Snake Plissken comic. I don't remember the comic. I don't remember liking it that much, or it was like okay. I
think it was too short. It didn't really do much. It was just sort of it wasn't even like a full story. You're like, oh, is that it? I thought it could have done a bit more.
The New York comic ran. There's a Snake Plissken miniseries, which I've got the full thing of in actual book form. And then the Escape from New York comic, I have them all in digital, and that went quite a while, and that wasn't too bad. Like Snake, Adventures of Snake or whatever, it was pretty good. But
okay, Jack Burton versus Snake Plissken.
Oh, Snake, man, Snake Plissken is the best.
Plissken, yeah,
because Jack Burton can only catch. He can catch and throw, but when he throws the knife and he completely misses like a tool, it's like way off, and the guy's like, "You didn't like, all right," but he can catch. Now that was foreshadowed with the bottle. Right? He's like cut the bottle in half and then he caught the bottle. He's like, sorry, Wang. You know? So it's like that was foreshadowed. He's a good, catcher, and then he can like, whip it back or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely love it. Are you about to say something?
I remember I saw it at the movie theater, and I funny story. It's like I didn't like it the first time I saw it because like I was like into my martial arts thing and stuff like that, and I was kind of disappointed in like especially the finale, like where they're flying with the swords and everything, because I wanted to see like more like like actual like fighting and
proper martial arts. Yeah,
I was kind of disappointed, but then I saw it twice in the theater because then a friend of mine wanted to see it. And I was like, yeah, I'll go with you again. And then I watched it. And I was like, this, it's a pretty funny movie, and everything. And then I got what it, like J-Man got it right away. I probably got it on the second viewing. And then when I got it on VHS, I probably watched it like 8,000 times, like in the first couple of weeks. I love the fact that Jack Burton, he's just clueless. Like he think like he was saying, he thinks he's like this great guy. And even the people, all the Asian actors, like the characters, they're all making fun of him, and he's just totally oblivious to everything. And he's just like, yep. He's just going through, and like he's just lucky, And he just shit happens, and he's just like, and then he thinks he's done the greatest thing ever, and it's just like you just can't help but laugh because he's a total dipshit. He's probably one of the greatest characters ever that I've probably seen in a. Well, you can't call it an action movie because it's everything. It's action,
it's every genre together. Yeah,
it's everything. But you can't help it, and all the lines that he says and stuff like that, And then the best part is where he goes, he's like Jack Burton, and he's got lipstick on his face. He just looks like a total jackass, but you love him anyways. He's like the most lovable action hero ever in the history of cinema.
Probably just because the simple fact that it's Kurt Russell, and there's something. Everybody loves Kurt Russell. Like if I ever met someone who said I don't like Kurt Russell, I punch them in the face. I'm sorry, everybody likes Kurt Russell. That's the law. It's just the way it is.
When he opens the door and then the guys are all there, he's like, "We may be surrounded."
He's like on the other side of the store. You're gonna see, a nice false front, office's desk, and then he opens it up and he closes it. He's like, Or my favorite part is like they come up to I forgot what it was. Was it a door or something? And he's like hollow. He's like, fuck it. He just cuts it open with his knife and he just slices it open. That's right. That's my favorite part ever.
Yeah, I hadn't realized till I started buying a bunch of Chinese movies in the 2000s, like stuff from the 80s, 90s. I hadn't realized what that movie was trying to do. I think it might be the only movie that tried to bring 80s Hong Kong nonsense to America. It's like that crazy vibe and colorful like lighting and everything. And like everyone has powers. It really is like 80s Hong Kong action like on American screens. It's pretty cool. And the other thing too is him with the truck. Like everyone had a car back then, so him having a truck, I was like, "Oh, that's neat." The only thing, even as a kid, I was like, "That would be kind of slow though. Like you have to rev it up, and But it's kind of neat that he was the guy with the truck, and everyone else had, like, a car, like,
Top Express
and everything.
He's got the creature at the end. It's like hits the ride or whatever. So he's like going on adventures with that creature or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
it needed a sequel. I mean, he was such a great character. I would love to have seen him come back. I know they talked about doing like a remake with Dwayne Johnson, and thankfully that never happened. I was like, no, there's only one Jack Burton and it's Kurt Russell. Don't ever remake it, especially with Dwayne Johnson, who's the same in everything. I'm like, no, thank you. But yeah, no, definitely one of my favorites. And Kim Cattrall's in it as well, of course, and then James Hong as well. So yeah, no, great movie. And then John Carpenter's music, of course, the Pork Chop Express theme tune and everything. It's just awesome.
It's got every Asian martial art actor from the 80s. It's like,
Ali Wong shows up. Yeah,
you know, it's like that's the funniest thing ever. It's like I remember because the more I got into martial arts movies, as I started doing it and everything, I got to know these guys, and then I'd go back and watch Big Trouble in China again. I'd be like, it's Ali Wong, it's the guy from Lethal Weapon, and it's like. That guy, any movie with Al Young is like he was like the quintessential 80s, villain.
Yeah, henchman, the ultimate.
He's a henchman in like probably 5 A-Team episodes. It's like he's just around.
They're just like put him back in, Yeah.
No, he's in everything. Yeah, no, nobody henches quite like him.
The setup of that movie is very smart too, because when they're talking to Egg Foo or whatever, and they're like, and Egg Shen, and they're like, what went down? He's like, Jack Burton is a hero and all this stuff. And it's like, he goes, there's green flame, and what the hell? Things are exploding. And he's like, there's black magic. And then he's like, and he like literally performs magic. And but the point though is that in the first like 5 minutes, it tells you that there is magic. It's real. This is really happening, like it's not like it's not even, it builds up to cooler stuff as it goes, but like you're told right away, look, this is magic. It's called Big Trouble in Little China. It's telling you what this movie is. It's not pulling a fast one. It's not trying to hide what it is and try to make it seem like it's some, snooty art picture or something. It's like, look, it's going to be magic. It's going to be kung fu. There's going to be like sword fights. There's going to be, like big exploding guys. There's Lo Pan like doing his, that was really cool. Like there's all this cool stuff in it. It's like, and that's all in the opening. What that movie starts and then it immediately does not stop. Mm-hmm. There's not even 1 second without dialogue because Gracie Law comes in. She's like, I'm Gracie Law. Hi. It's like, Gracie Law, what are you doing here? And then Jack Burton's like, wait, what is happening here? And it's like, and it's like they're all talking so fast and the plot is moving and he's just like, and he's us. Because Jack Burton is the audience. We're useless too. Like if we were in that situation, we'd be as useless as he is because we don't know this world. It's a whole new thing going on that we don't understand, and we're just along for the ride, just like Jack is. And I think it's brilliant. Like I love John Carpenter. He's my favorite director, and I think this is a genius movie, like higher level genius. It's like it's moving so fast that we can barely follow the movie, and we're like Jack Burton. We don't know what's going on either. And I really like it. I think it's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, John Carpenter is... I have 3 favorite directors. John Carpenter, Walter Hill, and Michael Mann. Those are like my 3 favorites because their films are always watchable. There's just always something that I like about them, and they're all very different. It's funny. I was going to ask this. Better title, Big Trouble in Little China or Showdown in Little Tokyo?
I was just going to say that's a double feature. I was just going to say Showdown in Little Tokyo. It's like watching
literally the perfect double feature. Yeah. Oh, I think Trouble in Little China.
Oh,
but I prefer Showdown in Little Tokyo. Damn it, that's really tough. Like if I had to choose which film, like it's Brandon Lee and Dolph Lundgren.
What choose the film? Which film you want more? Or like
I'm just choosing like the films now.
Big Trouble for me.
Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah,
that's a no-brainer for me. But I love Showdown in Little Tokyo. I've got it right there.
Yeah,
it depends what day it is for me. It's like is it Monday Showdown in Little Tokyo? Is it Tuesday Big Trouble in China?
What do you think of Dolph Lundgren's final outfit in Showdown in Little Tokyo, though?
It is amazing, and awesome. I think everybody should wear that to the office every day.
It's awesome, man.
Go kick his ass, samurai.
But Dolph Lundgren is never wrong, and whatever he decides or whatever he's wearing, it's 10 out of 10.
It's the correct choice.
It's the correct choice. Dolph Lundgren's the best.
The first time I saw that movie, I dug what he was wearing at the end. I was like, yeah, that works. Sure, why the hell not? Because you had Brandon Lee. Brandon Lee was kind of like, he was kind of like the normal guy. Like Dolph Lundgren was this bigger than life guy, you know. No offense to Brandon Lee, but he was just his partner and everything. But as soon as he put on that outfit, I was like, why the hell not? Because you just watch this entire movie, and then sure, why not?
No.
I didn't think twice about it as a kid, but then I watched it when I was like 28 or something. I was like, oh, okay, sure.
But it's got the most awkward sex scene ever in that movie. I cringe when I watch it to this day. I'm like, what the hell were they thinking?
And that amazing line of dialogue.
They're eating hors d'oeuvres off like the nude women and
the naked chicks.
Yeah. Remember nudity in movies?
Oh yeah. I remember. Fun fact. Dolph Lundgren drives an ice cream truck decorated with human skulls. The skulls of his enemies. So, random question or here. Does anybody else have a soft spot for Escape from LA?
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, J-Man does.
Yeah. Did I like it more than the first one? Hell no. But yeah, I liked this. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I mean, it got way cheesier than the first one, but I'm like, yeah, why not? I liked it.
Yeah, it's more just the visual effects that let it down.
Yeah. I think it's aged well, despite the effects. I think it's aged well. I mean, he turns off the world in the end, so
come on. And then he smokes the cigarette with the matches. Okay, oh my god. Okay, we're gonna have to go into J-Man's gonna J-Mansplain or whatever.
J-Mansplain, there we go. That should be the name of your channel.
I just made that up. Trademark. Okay, no, look, Escape from LA is a parody of Escape from New York, but that's the best way to do it because Snake, remember, it's a different time now, right? For people in audiences too, right? So that Escape from New York is in my top 10 favorite films of all time. I love Escape from New York. But Escape from LA is very fun and fast paced, and it gets moving. It literally cuts the time in half from 24 hours to 10 hours or whatever it was. It's like he gets all of his equipment. He actually uses every single thing he gets, and the matches were the only thing he didn't use. And at the very end, he uses them. It's all, and I keep track of everything he uses. The hologram thing at the end was great. The flipping the thing, how it's like, oh, you thought you double crossed us. It's like you got Stacy Keach, you got Pam Grier, you got Steve Buscemi, you got Bruce Campbell. You got what's the girl's name from Ensign Rowe from Star Trek? Michelle Forbes, right? It's like Spider-Man's uncle. What's the guy's name? Sean, what's his name? He's the president. I can't remember that guy.
Sheen, whatever.
It's like there's so many actors and everybody is somebody cool. I don't know. And like Cuervo Jones and everything, and like the satellite thing, and changing the disc around. I don't know. I think it's genius. I love Escape from LA, and I don't know. It's fun. I used to watch it every Saturday for about 6 months. I'd wake up every Saturday and watch Escape from LA.
That's another one. Yeah, where we're supposed to get Escape from Earth. Remember that had been sort of talked about for a while, and it never happened. And then was it Lockout? Is that what it's called? The one with Guy Pearce.
Yeah, that was the ripoff of Precinct 13.
No. Lockout is the ripoff of New York.
Yeah, it's Escape from New York in space. It's like a prison thing in space. I kind of enjoyed it.
That got the court injunction that they banned it. Yeah.
We saw it in the theater, man. Yeah, but we saw that in the theater, Sean. I'm like, this is literally Escape from New York. Like it's like this isn't even kind of like it. It's like exactly the same.
Mm-hmm. But it was cool though. I like.
Yeah, Guy Pearce was great in it. He was brilliant.
Yeah. I got no problem with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always enjoyed it, but yeah, I would have liked to have seen him, one more time as Snake Plissken. Yeah. But Kurt Russell doesn't really seem to want to sort of revisit old movies. Like I remember he is always asked, why aren't you in the Expendables? And he's like, well, that seems sort of very much of the time. I'm not really interested in that. And I was like, yeah, but you're in shite like a Fast and Furious movies. So I don't know. But yeah, Mr. says, yeah, but still an awesome movie. Lockout, yes, it was. Yeah, I still really enjoyed it. Has anybody seen the trailer? I think, John, you have for Crime Story with Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah, I just posted it this morning at work. I was on my break.
Yeah, it looks cool. Yeah. Kind of Death Wishy kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like watching old people kicking ass, and that's what this is. It's like he's an old gangster and he's taking out the trash.
you wouldn't expect Richard Dreyfuss, especially now at his age. I don't know how old he's got to be, well into his 70s, if not late 70s.
At least, yeah.
So I think it's great. I mean, I'll watch it. And the trailer looked pretty good. I mean, it looked kind of interesting. So I was like,
oh yeah, I'll check it out for sure. Yeah, and I know we did a podcast on a few weeks ago celebrating the series, but this week also is the 30th anniversary of Terminator 2.
Oh, wow.
I've never seen it, so I don't know.
I'd never even heard of it until the other day. Yeah.
I heard Dark Fate was great, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
J-Man's going to celebrate the anniversary of Terminator Dark Fate. He's going to have a holiday for that one.
I'll have a bonfire and roast the 4K that I bought because I'm such a loser that I have to buy all these things. I want my collection to be, well, at the time I wanted my collection to be better than Blockbuster, because I would go to Blockbuster and they're missing like Halloween 7 or something. I'm like, or whatever. They'd be missing one of the movies. I'm like, I have them all. I mean, why don't you have them all? But
yeah.
Well, my problem is I'm a completist. So like if I like somebody, I get, even if it's a shitty movie or a franchise, if it's a shitty franchise. I mean, if it's a shitty movie but a great franchise, I still get it. So, I have Terminator Dark Fate. I probably didn't hate it as much as you did, but that movie, and like it's like the writers get in a room and then it's like, how can we fuck this franchise up this time, and it's just like, it's like they should all go back and watch number 2 and not duplicate it, but just be like, look, this is what he did with this movie, let's figure it out and let's fix this, but it's getting to the point where fans don't care anymore because the movies come out and nobody buys tickets.
No, I mean, they need to leave the franchise alone. Terminator is dead, so I really would leave it. There's not really anything else they can or should do with it. Nothing is ever going to be better than the first 2 movies, so why bother?
I'm bummed that he made Terminator Dark Fate, but we didn't get another Conan. I wanted another Conan.
Like King Conan we've been waiting for years. Yeah.
Like the ending of Conan the Barbarian, where he's on, where he's sitting there. Like, that's the movie I wanted. Yeah,
you've read the script, right? The script is really good. Like it's all over the internet. So
I just saw somebody posted a video of him doing this in Conan the Story behind his back, and he's doing it. And it's like, dude, get the cameras rolling.
I'm just making
the Destroyer was had an anniversary just recently too. I can't remember what.
That's right.
But it's like movie studios don't give a shit about fans. It's like they just I don't know what they think, but the wrong people are in charge of movie studios.
No, the people making movies now don't know what they're doing. Like, because it used to be adults who were like, scholars and they went to school for stuff and they honed their craft. And like these people were literally like artists. Like they weren't just like, oh, we're gonna fucking shoot a movie and people are gonna go watch it. It's like, no, they'd spend all day designing stuff. Like you look at, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Jodorowsky's Dune, which I love bringing up because that guy's insane. Alejandro Jodorowsky tried to make Dune. He has a 300-page outline of every shot, and it's like, and Chris Foss designed the ships. Giger designed the Harkonnens area, and like these people were craftsmen. Like it's like every ship in Star Wars detailed. Like you watch Star Wars in the best version, clearest version right now, with the models, and it's like, why does this look better? It's like, well, because these are craftsmen. It's like they want to tell a story. This one, people now they just watch these movies and like, yeah, I'm a Star Wars fan or I'm a whatever fan. Well, you're not really, and even if you are, you're not a good filmmaker. It's like they just grew up. I don't know what movies these people are watching or what.
Yeah, there's no storytelling anymore. It's all just mandates and sticky notes, right? It's like do this, do that, and a lot of movies, quite frankly, show that, right? There's no, it's formulas rather than like whenever. So I hate Last Jedi, but anybody
with taste hates The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I see anytime on YouTube there's someone that has a hot take that they like love Last Jedi. I click on it to see what they have to say, and usually they're saying that they're just basically basing their argument on the formula of it. It's like this character has to embark on this quest and has this character saying the good stuff and this character saying the bad stuff, and this character has the same thing, and the whole thing is mapped out like this. And it's like, yeah, you're not telling me why it's good. You're just telling me the pillars of like the very obvious pillars of their point and click formula. But what's the story? Why would this character think this? Why do these characters make these decisions? Only because the script tells them to? Yeah. And that's most of these is like Man of Steel. And it's like most of these movies are characters do things because script says so, not because that character would do that, because that's the way that character is. There's no personality. There's no storytelling. It's just, anyway, it's an old song. We keep going back to this, but it's getting worse and worse, especially in American movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Somebody new joining. Jimmy Smith. Hey guys, love the live stream. Hey Jimmy, thank you for watching. And what did you guys think of Wrath of Man?
I didn't see it
yet.
You haven't seen it? I loved it. I thought it was awesome. It's one of my favorites of the year. I love Statham anyway. I think Statham is he's sort of like the modern kind of Bronson, really. That's why he was in the remake. Nobody will ever replace Bronson, obviously. Just putting that on the record right now. There is only one. There can be only one.
Only one. Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought the score was fantastic. The music was really cool. I liked seeing Guy Ritchie do something more serious. Because a lot of the times it's sort of like Snatch, where it's got that rapid fire humor and things like that, which I still really enjoy. But I like seeing him do this sort of darker tale, quite intense and violent. So Wrath of Man was really good. John, have you seen it?
Oh yeah, I did a review for it, and I thought one of my, if not my favorite, like it's definitely my top 3 Statham movies. Mm-hmm. And like this one was like he was just no shit in this movie. He was just brutal, and he just and I loved, like, here's the thing, like with Guy Ritchie, like my wife was watching it with me. I always throw my wife under a bus when she's not with me, but she's like watching it. She was getting confused because of how it was going back and forth and this and that. And I'm like, you just gotta watch it. Just pay attention. Just pay attention. Just pay attention. And just how it turned out. And then you think Jason Statham's like this ex-cop, because they're always ex-cops or ex-special forces. But it turns out he's this big bad time kingpin, and he
Spoiler
sorry. So, but if you haven't seen it by then, now I can't help you. But yeah, I just loved how Guy Ritchie just totally like pulled the rug out and was like, this is who he is, and that was like one of my favorite parts about it. Mm-hmm. And then of course the action, I just but everybody in the movie was just like every character was just like a scumbag, Mm-hmm. It was like it wasn't a very happy movie, but I didn't care. I mean, I love movies like that. So.
Mm-hmm. Same here, yeah.
Well, spoilers used to be something to get you to watch the movie. Remember that? Like, whatever, 20 years ago, people be like, oh man, you know what happens then? Holy shit, it's like Snake Plissken turned the tables on them at the end. You're like, wow, I gotta watch this, right? And it's like, now it's like, oh, I can't watch this because you spoiled me. You know what the problem with spoilers is now? Hold on. There's actually nothing going on in the movie. The movie only has the spoiler. Right? It's like that's the only thing the movie's got to offer. So the spoiler kills the whole movie because that's the one idea that they had in the 2-hour movie, and then now it's ruined. Before, spoilers didn't mean anything because the whole goddamn movie was great. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, just I'm kind of switching gears here, but do you guys I think the internet kills everything, because like I remember being a kid. And the best part for me because I like going to a movie, I knew what movie I was seeing, but like was seeing the trailers at the beginning of the movie, because you never seen them before. Now with the internet, you always see the trailers right away. So I just went to the movies yesterday and I was like, yep, I seen this trailer. Yep, I seen this trailer. I loved going there when I was 10 years old, and like and then you'd see the first trailer for Terminator 2, or and it's like, I've never seen this before. And it was like a big surprise, but I miss that. I miss video stores. I miss everything.
Yeah, I miss when the world was happier.
Yeah, right.
Best experience for me with that, with what John, what you're talking about, was I don't know what we were seeing because I didn't care after I saw this trailer. I was sitting in the theater. And you guys Google. So afterwards, when we're done the stream, Google or go on YouTube and look up the Escape from LA like original theatrical trailer. So it starts off by saying, welcome to the theater. And you're like, okay. And it's like, we would like to remind you of the rules. It's like, no talking. I'm thinking, what the hell is
really
this?
beginning to annoy me.
Yeah. And it's like, it goes, and then, the rules get weird, right? It's like no red meat. It's like all marriages must be approved by the government. I'm thinking, wait, what is going on here? And then he's like, your rules are beginning to annoy me. I was like, I'm getting goosebumps right now. And I'm like, is this fucking happening? There's a Snake Plissken movie. Oh my God. I was just dying. Sorry, my condos. I'm just gonna mute myself for a sec.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember I saw Split in the theater without ever having seen any trailers for it because I didn't really know much about it. And I usually see trailers and spoil myself for everything. And I love Split and I was surprised by everything. And then afterwards I saw the trailers and I'm like, oh crap, no wonder everyone else thinks it's whatever, because it's like they spoil everything in a trailer. You know, it's like what's his name being the woman and all that. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Jimmy Smith says, regarding Wrath of Man, he was like, definitely think it was dark and intense, more adult-oriented as opposed to PG fare like Fast and Furious or The Meg. Yeah,
hey guys, I got to go downstairs for a second. There was some flooding. It may not have affected me, but they're asking us to come down.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just gonna remove myself and I'll come back in after.
Okay, I'll add you if we see you come back. All right.
Yeah, cool, man.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I remember when I went to see The Meg, or was it The Meg or Megan? But I remember I had to rewrite my review because the first time I wrote the review was this like expletive-filled rant because it was one of the worst theatrical experiences I'd ever had. Because there were girls next to me on their phones recording the movie. There was a woman with a pram, or do you call them prams here? Baby carriage, or whatever you call them.
Yeah.
Stroller, yeah. And the baby's like, it's like, you brought a fucking baby in here? What the hell?
To the man.
And then there's this guy talking to his kid, and he's like, oh, here's what's going to happen next. Oh, this is going to happen. Oh, and they're talking, and then they start throwing popcorn at each other and everything else. And I was literally just about to go, screw you!
Did you go to the inner city in 1980s or something? What the hell,
Square
man?
One. Square One.
Yeah. Oh my God.
The Square One Cineplex is awful. I hate going there. I normally just like going to the Oakville Theatre, but yeah, that one is awful. But mind you, it's been nearly 2 years since I've been in a movie theater now.
Yeah,
so.
of course, yeah.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah. I always got mad because I'm not a rich man, so when I go to a movie, I pay hard money. I want to watch the freaking movie, and like people that go there to just disrupt the whole process. It just I wouldn't do this nowadays because God forbid, but like way back, like I was in high school and like I forget what movie I saw, but like somebody was like just total being obnoxious. So I got up, walked around, and got behind him. I was like, hey. And he like looked at me and he jumped back. I was like, I'm trying to watch the movie. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. And I sat back down and I didn't not a word from him.
Nothing else you said? What did you see?
What's that?
What did you see at the theater?
I can't remember what movie it was. I just remember going up to him and just like, and he was just totally obnoxious and he was just yelling at the screen and everything. And you could tell other people were uncomfortable with it too. And like they're like, "Oh, go get the usher." I'm like, "Fuck the usher." I'm like, "I'm gonna do this myself." So I watched.
Well, J-Man.
Going back to what you were saying, Owen. Yeah, I mean, it's like people who bring their baby. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I went to an R-rated movie and like somebody brought like their 3-year-old or their 4-year-old. Like Deadpool. I went to see Deadpool and my wife and I were just like looking at each other like, what the frick, And it's like, and of course they're going to be noisy because they're 3 or 4 and they don't understand the movie. They don't know what's going on. So what do you think they're going to do for the 2 hours?
Yeah. Well, J-Man's not here, but J-Man will totally tell you. Like, if someone has their phone on or something like that, or someone's talking, J-Man will totally, out of the blue, with his booming voice, go like, turn that phone off, please, or like, we're trying to watch a movie. And then everyone is quiet.
Because they're embarrassed then, because he's like, yeah, I think we can turn the phone off now.
Yeah.
I remember that was Man of Steel. Remember?
Oh yeah, you were there with us when he did that.
I was there for that. Yeah, I remember that. So I love Alex comment here. Fun fact: the movie John was seeing was Lady and the Tramp. Caught you, John. That's what you're up seeing.
It wasn't. No, it was adult, please. But what was I going to say? But like I get made fun of. Like, my wife makes fun of me because, like, when we go, like, well, this is before you actually were able to purchase your tickets online. Like, you know, you'd have to get there and, like, buy your tickets and get a good seat because they weren't reserved or anything. So I get there, like, an hour before the damn movie started. And my wife would get so mad at me. And she's like, why are we here so early? Like, you don't understand. You need the perfect seat. When I go to the movies, it's like a spiritual, like, you know.
That's our church. Yeah.
Yes. Like, people don't understand. Like, if you're not a movie buff, you're not gonna, like, my wife loves movies, but, you know, she's not like I do. You know, she enjoys her movies and stuff like that, and she enjoys my type of movies too. But it's like, I grew up, like, I always thank my dad, because my dad was in a big time, he worked for a company that was big into electronics and everything. So when they got stuff, like when the VCR came out, he got one of the first ones. So he's the reason why I fell in love with movies, because he, you know, I remember going to the movies, and then he was like, I'm like, oh, we're going to go to the movies? He's like, no, we're going to watch it at home. Like, how are we going to watch it at home? You know, and then he brought the first VCR, and it was like this big. It was like literally like this big.
Here's our movie for tonight.
It was like a tank, you know, and I remember the first movie he brought home was Alien. And I wasn't that old, and he's like, but he made me like leave like when the bad parts have like the chest busting scene and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But he was great. I mean, my dad, yeah. And then my parents would take me like the R-rated movies. Like, I remember I started going to see R-rated movies like when I was like 11, maybe 12, because they knew I was mature enough, and then I could handle it and stuff like that. But like, my mom took me to see Rapid Fire with Brandon Lee, you know, and it was just like my parents were great, and that's what instilled my love of movies. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and I'm trying to give it to my children, but it's like I got all girls, so it's kind of hard to like get them to love action movies and stuff like that. My oldest loves the Fast and Furious movies, and I know everybody rips on them and everything, but I enjoy watching them, and I enjoy because my girls can watch them because they're not that bad, you know. There's just shit blowing up and stuff like that. But that's something we can watch together. So
I remember, like, my dad always has taken me to the cinema, and hopefully we can get to do that again soon once I get to travel to see him again. When we were 11, he took us to see The Exorcist. Daddy, what you doing with that crucifix? Never mind, eat the popcorn. It was like not the best. But another movie we watched, and we actually just watched it last night, but we hadn't watched it for years, was Excalibur from John Boorman, which is, for me, my favorite ever live-action King Arthur movie. I just think it's fantastic. You got Liam Neeson and Gabriel Byrne in it, and Helen Mirren. I hadn't seen it in many years, and you got Wagner doing the music, and Carmina Burana and everything, and it's still just an awesome swords and sorcery type movie. Have you guys seen it? I take it, yeah.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. It took it all seriously. That's the thing, and didn't skimp on just what the fantasy was. And nowadays it's all like a hot take and fresh take on it, and it never hits the mark, right? So
exactly, yeah. So, Severio, how ballsy would it be if a highly anticipated movie never showed a trailer, forced everyone to go in blind? That would be cool. I mean, you could do that literally with like a Star Wars movie. Yeah. You say Star Wars or something.
It would have to be something like that known, that type of brand, because any other movie, they would never do that because they're too afraid that, like, if they didn't advertise for it, then they'd be like, oh, it didn't make any money.
Yeah. Thank my dad for all the great action movies we watched. My aunt and uncle owned a video store, so we were lucky to get a bunch of videos growing up. See, we were blessed to grow up whenever we did. I think to get to appreciate the physical media aspect. I mean, I got shelves of it, and I think, you know, true movie fans love physical media, and, you know, you watch all the behind the scenes stuff and things like that. You know,
it's still the best selection. I mean, the fact is that I have several streaming services now, and not one of them has any of the Nightmare on Elm Streets, really? Which was at one point the biggest horror franchise in the world. There's just certain things missing, you know, and if you own it, then you own it, and it's not missing.
Watch it whenever you want. Yeah.
But it's not. But the lie in the beginning of this streaming revolution was everything will be online, and that's not the case. It's not going to be the case.
Speaking of which, while I remember, got to go on a rant. Fucking halfway through watching Renegade on Amazon Prime with the Lamas, Lorenzo Lamas.
Yeah,
they've removed it. It's like not there, and I was like, I was going to review it, and I was like, now what the hell am I supposed to do? I watched it years ago, but I was rewatching it so I could actually write a review of it, and then They removed it, and I was like, well, that's great. Now what the hell am I supposed to do? Why did you remove it? It literally hadn't even been on for a year.
I put movies on my Netflix queue, and then like 2 days later, it's gone. I'm like, oh, okay, bye.
It's so annoying.
But yeah, like I think God like had it like had a mission for me, because like I said, like my dad, the job that he had, and then my freaking uncle owned a video store, and my mom managed it. So it's like somebody was telling me that, John, you're gonna love movies, you know. So it's like,
it was meant to be.
And I tell the story. I even write it. People probably get bored of me telling this, but I just remember every Tuesday. Like my job, I worked in the morning and then at night, so I had the day free. And every Tuesday was new release day, and I just remember going to my video store. This is after, because I had worked for the video store, but then I got a new job, so I'd always on my lunch go to the video store and look for all the action movies and everything. And it was like Christmas every Tuesday, you know. It was the greatest. And and I get sad because my kids will never know that, you know. They'll be like, you know, like, oh, it's on Vudu. I'm like, yeah, that's great, you know. And then they're like, and then my wife makes fun of me. She's like, why do you need to have this? You know, that the you know, you have the digital copy. I'm like, yeah, well, you know what, the internet isn't always so trustworthy. It's like, what if the internet goes out? It's like I could just pop it in my Blu-ray.
Exactly.
Like I just invested in that MGM app for Prime, and that's where all the Canon movies and stuff are. What if someone buys MG, or what if MGM goes somewhere else, you know, and then I don't have it anymore? Like for comics, I used to be heavy into the Dark Horse app, and once all that stuff went into Comixology, I wasn't able to retain all the comics I literally bought for Dark Horse. And I mean, that's comics, but like that's I predict that for movies and stuff, you know. So yeah, I don't trust this at all. I think a generation growing up will be like, oh, movies, you just get them online and stuff. But the problem is, there won't be as much variety. They won't be able to. If you're a movie fan, you won't be able to do a deep dive on older libraries and stuff. It's gonna be
PM entertainment movies.
Yeah, it's harder for you to browse. Some of these search functionality is just awful.
Yeah.
You can't really like discover things anymore. Like walking through like a Blockbuster or just a mom and pop shop aisle and seeing like a cool cover and saying, "Oh, let me try this."
Yeah.
So,
Jimmy's right there. Prime gives you no notice when they remove movies. At least Tubi gives you notice when it will be removed. I'm going to put in the record that Tubi is the best streaming service if you're a fan of action movies.
Yes.
Like me, I love like B grade and Z grade action movies, like, you know, Abraxas and stuff like this, which we've discussed before. And those are my favorites. And Tubi is great. Like I've written a piece which I'm going to post in the next week or so: Samurai Cop versus Samurai Cop 2 and stuff like that. You know, the classics.
Yeah, they got tons of old kung fu, like the really gritty 70s and 80s, like grainy stuff that I grew up on. And it's all on Tubi. And Dark Shadows, just putting it out there. I've been watching the old Dark Shadows. They have like 1,000 episodes or something, but they're all on there too.
Yeah. I still collect physical media. So true, Sean. The services don't have what a video store did. Blockbuster selection was better. Yeah. Now in the UK, we had Global Video. And I particularly remember, I always remember there was a video store in Mulgai where I used to live, and I always remember going in and there was the VHS copy of Bad Taste by Peter Jackson, and I had the cover of that, and I always remember seeing that as a kid, and I was like, oh, he's giving the figure, that looks so cool. That was awesome. And just that feeling, you're seeing these movies in the VHS art and everything. I mean, even movies like, you know, the Canon movies and whatever, which we've discussed before, they just looked amazing and had this great artwork. And there just seemed to be more effort into anything where it wasn't Photoshop posters and things like that.
Well, that was before they overthought the fact that you just put the poster from the movie on the cover art rather than crop it or like have some sort of clip art or something on there. I don't know why. I mean, like, you know, some of the poster art is what got me to rent those movies, like The Gate and, you know, and whatever, right? But yeah, we had Rogers and we had Blockbuster, but we had a lot of mom and pop operations too, and that's mostly where I rented stuff, and that's where all the weird stuff was, like Tor and like you know, just like anything like action and barbarians and post-apocalyptic stuff, and
all the stuff that matters.
Yeah.
Actually, Jimmy asked a minute ago, he said, what are some of the next action franchises you'll cover? Well, next week is the Death Wish franchise, which It's probably going to be next Friday night, we've decided, because Wednesday is my first day back at the office. So I'm probably going to be crying for the rest of Wednesday night until I get over that trauma. But Friday, I'm working from home, so there'll be no stress. So I think Friday night we're going to do a Death Wish. That'll be the retrospective event. So I've been watching them all. So you're on vacation, John, aren't you?
I am. Yeah, I'm going to be visiting the in-laws. So yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah, I told you to hold off on Rambo.
Yeah, Rambo's going to be the week after. So everyone, if you're looking for Rambo, that's the week after next. So we'll do that. Oh yeah, we're going to do that. Actually, I'll just finish these comments here. Sorry, 100% believer in physical copies. Yes. I only have Tubi, no other streaming services on physical empires. And love Tubi TV. Yeah, see, Tubi's the best. Yeah, I've been watching so many movies on Tubi recently. I used to think it was called Tubby, and I was like, Tubby? What kind of name is that? Aren't people going to be offended by that? So it's always going to be called Tubby. It's like, let's watch a movie, Tubby. So, did anybody see the new Masters of the Universe Revelation trailer this morning?
I just saw it was on just as we were going live, so I saw it like on mute, but I don't know what. I know it's the story trailer, but it looks neat, but it still looks, even on mute, like it's He-Man not being He-Man, and so we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, I need to see it for myself.
Yeah.
The main thing for me is it better have the theme tune. Just update the theme tune. Don't change it. That's the He-Man theme.
I don't think it will.
Yeah, I'll probably turn it off. Then I'm not going to watch it if it doesn't have the music.
They're incorporating a lot of the toy designs and stuff. They have the Eternia play set, and they have a lot of the vehicles they never had on the show. So that's cool. I'm not going to be super mad at it. Like, I know people are mad at it automatically because of that weird Netflix synopsis that they released that then Kevin Smith tried to walk back. But it looks cool. It looks like a fun time. The old He-Man's always going to be He-Man to me.
Yeah.
I think people should stop taking this seriously as a sequel to the old show. It's like you got a great 2000X show. There's this looks cool. It looks like it has the designs at least.
And Mossman's in it, and Mossman is my favorite.
Mossman's in it. And there's supposed to be another cartoon coming out end of the year from Netflix, another He-Man cartoon, which it will be tied more into kitty toys and stuff. So we'll see how crap that is. But yeah, it looks fun and colorful. I'll watch it. I won't be too mad that if they spit on the franchise a bit, because to me it's not the franchise. The old show is the franchise. So yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah. I will be upset. I don't care if they what they change, but they have to do some version of the theme tune. I need the theme tune. To me, that's He-Man. Yeah. So
it'd be great if they do that. I doubt it, because I don't think it's Bear McCreary, and I don't think that I think he's done his own thing. You know, because they had audio of the He-Man transformation, and the theme song wasn't there at all. It was just your typical like long chords, you know, your typical modern day theme, right? Yeah,
no, it's going to be. So I just want an update of that. So Alex, what is your most anticipated action movie in the pipeline, and why is it John Wick 4? Well, yes, Scott Adkins has just joined John Wick 4. So you're welcome, Scott, because I'm pretty sure that's entirely because of us mentioning him on the John Wick franchise a few weeks ago. So yeah, so that's pretty much happening.
6 years I've had my damn website. So
yeah. So you're welcome, fans. Yeah, the post I did the other day kind of went a bit viral. I got 15,000 likes. Or I was like, what? Great, I'll take it. But yeah, John Wick 4 definitely, because you got Scott, you got Donnie Yen and everything. So, and I hope it's a decent role. I hope it's not just going to be, you know, he's a silent assassin and gets killed after one scene or something. You know, I don't want that.
You know, Chad's doing it, and I think he wouldn't put Scott Adkins in it if he wasn't going to use Scott Adkins. I don't think he might not have like a role Donnie Yen's going to have, but I don't think he'll let the fans down. I mean,
no,
I could be wrong, but I don't think I am, because, you know, Chad Stahelski's, you know, he comes from that, you know, and he, you know, like he put Daniel Bernhardt in the first one, and he didn't give him one fight, he gave him 2 fights, you know, so you know, and and Daniel Bernhardt talked a lot in that movie too, and he was kind of badass, you know, I kind of wish that he wasn't a bad guy, you know, and then when he finally died, I was kind of bummed. But I think they're gonna use Scott, and they're gonna, I think it's gonna be something special. I really do.
Yeah, no, really looking forward to that. I'm trying to think of what else. I'm looking forward to seeing No Time to Die finally. Like I said, No Time to Release.
Yeah.
It's like, for the love of God, I just want to see the next James Bond film because I love Bond. I'm trying to think what else. There's not much else for a little while. I am looking forward to Gunpowder Milkshake. I think that looks kind of cool. Netflix movie. I'll give that a watch. Is that this month, July?
Is it?
Yeah, later in the month. I forgot what the release date is. But it's coming out also. I'm kind of interested in that one. I mean, she shocks herself because she's got murderous tendencies. I mean,
I kind of like that. It's sort of like Crank, even crazier. So,
exactly.
So I'm looking forward to that. So count me in. Do you know what I watched yesterday? I hadn't punished myself for a while by watching a recent Steven Seagal movie, so it was time, and I watched Attack Force, which is that the worst Seagal film? It's certainly up there.
Well, here's my thing with older Seagal. I like his movies where there's another guy like Byron Mann or Victor Webster was in A Good Man. He was good in that movie because he's a martial artist. I think Steven Seagal movies are better when they're like, we know this is Steven Seagal. We know he's limited in what he could do. Let's put this guy in with him, And I think those are the movies I enjoy. Like I like Absolution because Byron Mann kicked ass in that movie. And
that was great, man.
And Belly of the Beast is hysterical because they have Steven Seagal doing all this shit that he can't do. It's a stunt double, but it's like whatever. But I love the guys that are in it with him, And then he did what was the other one? So it was Absolution, Belly of the Beast, and then like I said, A Good Man with Victor Webster because Victor Webster,
Dangerous Man as well.
I mean,
you should do A Hungry Man.
Yeah. I mean, don't watch what was the sequel to Black Dawn? What was that? That movie?
The Foreigner and Black Dawn. The Jonathan Cold movies.
Out, like after a week of filming, and they totally just finished the movie, and it was the worst thing I've seen because you could just tell. And they didn't even try. They didn't even try to make the guy look like Steven Seagal. Because I remember there was a fight on a staircase, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. I want to watch it again just to see, because I've only seen it once. So
I looked up the trivia on Attack Force after watching it last night because Seagal was dubbed.
It was changed. They totally redid the movie.
Yeah, it was totally changed. It was initially called Harvester and it was a sci-fi horror movie.
And they were so afraid about it, they changed it into the drug.
The production distributors. The distributors and production company changed it, and then they dubbed him over. And the guy who's doing Seagal's voice, it sounds like Danny DeVito sometimes. So he's sort of like, let's go kick some ass or whatever. You're like, what the hell is this? Like the voice is like just way off.
If you're gonna dub Seagal, or if you're gonna put it a stunt double, just try. That's all. Just don't make it look like Black Dawn was like the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I couldn't believe I watched the whole thing.
Both of them were terrible.
And then I read it. He walked out. I don't know what the whole story was, but he wasn't there for the whole filming of it. So. And then what was the one? Submerged. I hate that movie because Gary Daniels was in it,
and they waste Gary Daniels.
Used him in that movie. I'm like, seriously? And then it turns out because then it was said that Steven Seagal didn't want Gary Daniels to do too much because he didn't want to get upstage. It's like, well, yeah, because Gary Daniels is like woo up here to I love Steven Seagal, and old time Steven Seagal, but when they put Gary Daniels in a movie, it's like don't put him in there, and if you're not going to do it, and his fight scene with them, I was just like this. This is bullshit. I was like, I got so mad.
I know my prized possession, with Sensei. And that was maybe a couple of years ago at the Fan Expo.
Did you talk to him at all, or was it one of those?
I sort of did. He just sort of sits there serenely and doesn't really speak.
I heard, and this is from people I've talked to that have met him and talked. I've heard he's a really nice guy. I
had no issues with him. I mean, he laughed because I was supposed to interview him a few years ago, and I was ready to go, but I couldn't get the day off work, so I had to do it in my office. So I was in the library at the office. And the Wi-Fi wouldn't work. Oh. And I was like, why is Wi-Fi not working? Called IT. And I was like, "Can you guys fix this?" I said, "I'm waiting for a call from Steven Seagal," and they're like, "What? These Steven? Yeah, fucking Steven Seagal. Just get the thing fixed. Get it fixed." Missed call, and I was like, "No." So when I met him, I told him about this, and I said, like I said, I was supposed to interview you for, I think it was A Good Man, actually, and I said I was ready to go. I said, and then the Wi-Fi cut out. I said, and the call was missed, so I apologize to miss it. And he just laughing. It's all good, brother. And that was all he said to me. And I was like, you know what? Seagal forgives me. Sensei forgives me. So that's okay. I can move on. So, but yeah, that was cool. And if you are a fan, I'm sure you read this, John, Seagalogy.
Oh yes,
yeah, by Vern. Yeah, it was just a riot, and that's actually where I'd found out the thing about Attack Force.
And there's always, and there's been the public stuff about him, and with which I won't go into and stuff like that. But I've always enjoyed even his his newer ones that are coming out. It's like I said, I like bad movies, so it's like it's almost like it's like, how bad is this one going to be, type of thing. And like I've been pleasantly surprised, and I think he's getting to that point where I don't know if he's going to make a lot more, but I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't even know if there's anything in the pipeline. It's been kind of quiet recently. Well, COVID, obviously.
Yeah, and like I said, I enjoy them. I take some punishment sometimes from people and stuff. I don't think I've ever reviewed a Steven Seagal on my website yet. And that's because I think that's unintentional. So I just haven't, I just haven't gotten around to it. It's hard for me to review any movie right now, actually, but I gotta fix that. I mean, I've read some of yours, like which one?
It's mostly 1 star for a lot of the ones I've seen, but
well, there was one that you did. You just totally like sliced it apart. I was laughing because
there are times. I mean, I try to be kind as much as possible when I'm watching a movie, but whenever I'm watching it and I'm like, I've seen better film on Teeth, I'm like, this is bollocks. And you have to be honest at the same time. I mean, you can try to be nice, but then you're just like, no, sorry. So yeah.
Does this guy say he thinks Bruce Willis is going
to? Do you think Bruce Willis? Yeah, very much so. Yeah,
does direct the video.
Yeah. The last thing I saw in the theater.
Yeah,
the last thing I saw Bruce Willis in the theater was probably Death Wish.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, that was the last one. Yeah. That was the last movie he was in and went to the theater.
I think so. Yeah, maybe. For 5,000 for that badge. Anybody see Richie? So for justice, whose hot dog is it? Random quote. I liked A Dangerous Man and Into the Sun as far as I remember. Into the Sun was cool.
And again, it's because of he did some good sword stuff in that movie, but it was like some of the people around him like really did some good action stuff.
That's the thing, is whenever he's surrounded by other people, that's the thing is to have him with other people. I think that's the big thing. That's awesome that he's cool. You always hear stories about Seagal being a jerk, refreshing. I know you hear him beating up stuntmen or whatever else, but I mean, when I met him, he was really cool. Damn, it's over there, but as a 2-1, all my love, Steven Seagal. I was like, he loves me. Okay, so since he loves me,
I got a whole shitload of his movies. I do. Yeah. I mean, I could break them out and show them to you.
Oh yeah, Steven gave me a ton of them a few years ago. I think there's only one which I haven't seen, which I actually heard was all right. Was Urban Justice?
I like that one.
Yeah, I heard it was all right. Yeah.
It was it's like a gritty, like urban type of movie. Yeah, I mean, but I think some of the action, but again, I haven't seen a lot of these movies in a long time. I mean, some I've only seen once, maybe twice, if that. So I have to go back and revisit them.
I just like, even if the films are bad though, like even if they are like 1 star worthy, I still enjoy them anyway, just because I love watching Seagal on screen. But when he's being a dick to people and just slapping everybody around, whatever else, so, it's always just entertaining and walk and run away like a girl. Yeah, Urban Justice is one of the better ones I'd recommend. Okay, I'll check that out. Is he the toughest real life action star? I don't know.
I'd say JCVD is the fittest, and in terms of, if you believe the BS of Seagal being a cop for 20 years, probably the toughest. I don't know.
You see, do you know who actually doesn't get enough credit, like as a martial artist and on-screen fighter, who's probably one of the best? That's actually Mark Dacascos.
Oh yeah.
Like when I was watching even like the Crow Stairway to having like the fight scenes in it, everyone, I was like, that guy can move. So I think he could have taken Seagal.
Well, the thing about Mark Dacascos is, if you watch Mark Dacascos now, and then you watch Mark Dacascos in a movie 20 years ago, he looks freaking same. I mean, his moves, his body, it's phenomenal. It's like the guy hasn't aged. I mean, I was just, what was he in? What was the last movie I saw him?
John Wick 3?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, but like, am I right? I'm like, he's moving in that movie, and he's doing the exact same kicking motions that he did, like, if you watch Drive or any of those other movies. It's just fascinating how these guys can stay in shape like that.
Michael Jai White looks right.
Michael Jai White's he's one you want backing you up in a street fight, that's for sure.
But you know who would probably disagree? I have a friend who runs another YouTube channel. Well, he's an online friend. I've not actually met him, but Viking Samurai. And he's done some videos about Michael Jai White and whatever, and he's got some interesting takes, so you should definitely check him out. He's going to be joining us at some point in the next few weeks for a show, and like he's like a martial arts guy and everything too. I mean, there's a photo on his Instagram yesterday of him doing the splits like Van Damme, and I was like, my balls hurt just watching that.
I got to cut out for a couple minutes, okay? So
okay, no worries.
I'll be right back. So don't hang up without me. I'll be right back.
Okay, well. I think Dolph Lundgren can handle himself in a real life situation. Yes, I think Dolph would be good. I mean, he knows martial arts. And I remember when I never actually met Dolph, but I was sort of standing next to him. I was too busy going, "What's Dolph Lundgren?" And like, I totally froze.
He lived here for a bit. I don't know if he still does, but yeah.
Yeah. I like Vikings channel. Yeah, so do I. So he's one of my favorites. So he's going to join us. Now, hopefully, as long as nothing changes, Preston Downey, aka the fat PH80 samurai, is going to be joining us for Death Wish next Friday. So cool. That'll be a lot of fun. So looking forward to that. And then Rambo the week after. So is there any franchises any of you guys would like us to cover in future shows? Leave a comment here. Statham looks tough and legit. Yeah. I would not spill Jason Statham's pint if I would be scared of him. Whenever I was in LA at the premiere of Skin Trade, and I'm sitting next to Sheldon Lettich, who did like Double Impact and Lionheart. In front of me is Ron Perlman, and then in front of him is Jason Statham. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, there's so many cool people here. Ron Perlman seemed nice, and Jason Statham was there, but he was there with his manager, and I so wanted to like be like hi, but he kind of didn't want to be disturbed. And you know that way you can kind of tell whenever people just want to be sort of left alone, and then they'll come in or whatever, the side door or whatever. And I was like, okay, I'll not say anything. I'll not fangirl because I just cry probably if I met him. I love you, man. So,
but you are in an appearance like you should be like receptive to people just freaking out like.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh no, interesting, Jimmy. Expendables franchise, Escape Plan, Rocky. Escape Plan is in the next week or two. I'm doing that with Jeff, who runs Action Reloaded, and he's a buddy of mine in Britain. So we're going to be discussing the Escape Plan trilogy. So I think we're going to do that on Stallone's birthday. So is that next week?
Cool.
I think it's next week.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll do that.
Rocky's
Expendables.
Cool. There's like 100 movies, but
yeah, Expendables. Yeah, I think we need to cover.
Yes.
That yeah. Ooh, Die Hard scenario action movies. That'd be a fun one. That would be like 6 episodes or something.
Die Hard on.
Yeah. I mean, there's thousands of them. So okay, there's some cool ideas. So we got some good stuff coming up for the next few weeks. And I said we'll have sort of different people on as well. And I'm sort of working up to having people on like guests or whatever, like maybe some actors or whatever, and then maybe see if they want to join us for a live stream, so then the fans can actually ask some questions and things. So I think that would be a lot of fun. There's J-Man back.
Hello,
welcome back.
He lives. So nothing of mine was damaged, but like the units next to me, like shower.
Oh yeah.
No.
4th time it's been flooded like that. 4th time it's like literally shower. Everyone's stuff is like destroyed or whatever.
Huh.
Oh no, that's a nightmare, because we had that happen to us when my parents lived here in Lewiston, and oh god, it's horrendous. It flooded the basement, like destroyed so much, and it's the worst thing. So sorry to your neighbors. That's absolutely horrendous.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, did we lose John?
He said he would be back in a minute. Everyone's life seems to be falling apart off camera.
Yeah.
It's the life of action stars.
Exactly. It's
That's
never a
just how
dull
it
moment.
goes.
Yeah. So J-Man gets to live his hard rain scenario. There you go. It's now real life. Now just get your jet ski.
Oh my God, you're right. Thank you so much. Oh man, I love that movie.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. Best canon films or even action stars catalog with best. Yeah, we can do shows on that. Yeah. It would be cool. Like maybe at some point we're thinking I would love to see if we can actually get Scott on and do a live stream with Scott and get him to interact with fans. But we'll obviously have to ask him first. See what he says. He might be like, no. I'm busy, so I'm brushing my hair.
Well, he's going to be in John Wick 4, so now he's got to start, building that up, right?
Oh yeah. So I don't know when he's going to be starting filming or whatever, but I imagine it'll be soon. So and then he's got that other film from J.J. Perry and with Jamie Foxx. So that sounds interesting. I think it's next year probably. Huh. So there's one I just thought up here, and I thought this would be a fun thing to ask. What was the best 80s cartoon inspired by an R-rated movie like RoboCop and Rambo, and then even though it's not a movie, you got like Chuck Norris's Commandos and then Conan and everything. So
Police Academy was another one.
Police Academy.
Those are R-rated, so yeah. I'd say honestly, and I'm not saying this just because you're going to cover it a few weeks from now, but Rambo. Because
the Force of Freedom.
Yeah, because it's like I remember like that came on really early on Saturday mornings, and I tried to catch it, and I wasn't disappointed. And it's funny revisiting it because I have the full set, like all 6 volumes, and it's a great companion to G.I. Joe, and it's got a lot of ninjas too. It's like it really is, it encapsulates the fun of action, like 80s action movies in that thing. It's like cool cars, ninjas, lots of weaponry.
Master of Disguise.
And the thing about that show was that it because G.I. Joe was more mainstream, so parents got on its ass really quickly. And after the first miniseries, everything was laser pistols rather than ordnance. And in Rambo, it's all bullets and rockets. They don't give a crap. It's awesome. Yeah.
What was the
Rambo's
name?
Cool.
What's the name of the bad guy in Rambo again? The cartoon.
It's Savage, but I can't remember the main bad guy.
It's been a while, but find the evil forces of such and such, and you're like, really, I don't remember that at all.
Rambo,
he's got like all these friends and everything, and I was like, Rambo doesn't have friends. It's like,
right? Because I love Conan the Adventurer, and it's like man of bravery, right? It's like he's got it's team Conan, right? It's like the Star Medal and all that stuff. They kind of like made an excuse for the weapons or whatever. Yeah, but it was kind of like the Marvel Comics team up Conan, where it's like he's just teamed up with a bunch of other guys.
Yeah, the RoboCop cartoon. I had the toy one.
I still have Ed 209 from.
I had Ed 209, and I had the little caps you put in, and you pull the thing in the back and go.
That was really General cool. Warhawk was the main bad
Warhawk,
guy.
General Warhawk.
Awesome.
Which is an awesome name. That's another name. I've never met anybody with the last name of Warhawk, and that bothers me. When we were talking about cool action hero names last week, General Warhawk.
What about Warbeck from Expect No Mercy?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Tarzan. What's the guy's name? He played Tarzan. Wolf Larson.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Wolf Larson. That's his name, and that's almost an action. That's almost a villain. They could just use his real name.
Captain Power had those cool guns that interacted with the show.
Yep.
Yep.
It was like the ships, and it worked.
Funny. It's funny. Like we were talking about another stream of J-Man's all the innovations in toys back then that seem magical now because they were never done again. And when I tell younger people at work about like I had a toy that you would shoot at the screen would shoot back, and they're like, "What the hell? That sounds like something from the future." And I'm like, "No, this is like in the 1980s. It was Captain Power. Like there was a whole thing. You can't do that with modern day TVs because it's the CRT like scanning that makes it work." But it's so funny that it's like a throwback technology that sounds like it's from the future. It's so crazy.
Does it sound like it's the soldiers of the future?
The future. Yeah.
Captain Power was awesome, and I had the Captain Power. I still have the figure, but he would go on the stand and power would go.
I
power
had the
on.
base. That's the only thing I had. Yeah.
And it worked. You would put it in front of the TV, and when Captain Power came on, it'd go power on, and he'd be like, and like it would actually because it had a sensor in it by itself.
Yeah, the TV is telling it to do that, and it does. Like, oh my god!
I know, it's like Videodrome or whatever. Like the new Flash.
But the bad guys could shoot at it, and it would lose points. It would go bidoo boo like that.
And your guy would pop up. I had the villains, the black ship or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you lost like it would blow up. If you lost like 10 points, it would eject the character. And if you shot, you'd get points or whatever. It was a little thingy. It would be like 1, 2, and you would try to shoot at the screen.
Mm-hmm. John, can you tell we're talking about Captain Power or no?
Oh, how do we get onto that topic?
I was asking what our favorite cartoons were that were based on like R-rated properties, like Rambo and RoboCop and stuff like this. And all
Captain
the
Power, that was the interactive TV show.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. That was actually kind of dark for a children's show. Like I remember, like the last episode was kind of grim, actually. Like,
the girl dies in the I don't know if it's in the mid-season or season finale or whatever. Yeah. She like dies or whatever, and you're like, okay. And I don't know if the actress was just done, and they're just like, we're just gonna kill you off then.
Maybe. There's a whole bunch of like cartoons which I would love to see like maybe done as movies. I don't know if they would work now, but I always thought like Ulysses 31. Did anybody watch that? That was amazing.
And great soundtrack too.
Yeah. Ulysses. Yeah. I always thought. I remember when I watched the Clash of the Titans remake, and I was like, Liam Neeson should be Ulysses in because he had like the long hair and the beard, and I was like, that needs to happen. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
And then there were nobody seems to know this cartoon when I mentioned it. Jason the Wheeled Warriors.
Oh yeah. No, we know it.
I thought you guys would.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great show too. Like I was really engrossed in it, and they're gonna make a movie that like wrapped it up, and they never did. So Mask.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mask too.
Mask was going to be made into a movie, wasn't F. Gary Gray supposed to make a movie a couple of years ago, and then that never happened.
Hasbro and Paramount were going to do like a shared universe thing with G.I. Joe and Mask, and it
that would
totally
be awesome.
Why
do all the good ideas never happen?
Because they need to make Terminator Dark Fate.
Yeah. Oh, Battle of the Planets. Yes, Battle of the Planets was great.
Was Gotcha Man.
Gotcha Man, yeah.
Yes.
I have the full thing on Blu-ray.
Cool to do an episode on action movie collector cards.
I've got the Crow City of Angels box sealed.
Oh, really?
God damn.
You were with me, Sean, when I picked that sucker up.
Yeah, that's going to be sealed for another 50 years.
I'm never opening that sucker. I love City of Angels, but anyway, whatever.
Oh, God.
Did you ever notice, just to finish off the 80s cartoon thing, that was another one I would love to see made was Brave Star. Nobody liked Brave Star, but I loved Brave Star. Stomping time. Yeah. So, loved all that. But in most of these 80s shows, there was a character that was like exactly the same. Like in Thundercats, you had Snarf. In He-Man, you had Orko. You had Uni in Dungeons and Dragons. You had Godzuki in Godzilla. All these like cowardly pricks, and they were just like the annoying comic relief who never died and just kept being annoying.
Cringer and He-Man, but he turned into Malacat, so that's cool. Yeah,
but so that was
like the Snarf theme song is one of those earworms that attaches itself to my head and like doesn't go away for another week or so after I've watched an episode. I'm like, oh my God.
I'm getting a Thundercats movie.
Yeah, it's like Bulk and Skull. And you're just like, oh, stop it. Leave, please leave.
That's another thing that...
Oh, well, sorry, I pressed a weird button there. So 7 Zark 7.
That's another thing that my children that I'm kind of sad won't understand is Saturday morning cartoons. Like I actually got excited because I remember when like fall would come and then they'd have the new season of Saturday morning cartoons. They would have a preview show that was on like the Friday night before. I got excited just to watch that because I'd be like, oh, this is what they're gonna come out with. And I remember like what kid would wake up early? I did because every Saturday morning I was up at 7 o'clock in the freaking morning.
Yeah. Yeah, they
Serial
played the
and
old
cartoons.
cartoons before. So, like at 6 in the morning, like I got that early. They played the King
Rocket
Kong
Robin
cartoon from
Hood.
the '60s. And then I was super excited for Saturday morning stuff too. But they now have channels and there's streaming. There's hot and cold running cartoons all the time now. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember. It was only until a few months ago I thought that maybe I was drunk or high or something, and I forgot like what was going on. But I always knew there was another X-Men cartoon in the 90s, Pride of the X-Men.
Yes.
And I'd forgotten about that. But
1988,
that was, I was like, X-Men.
Save the
I remember
day.
that.
Yeah. And then the arcade is based on that cartoon.
That's the one with Colossus going "Rrrr," anytime he would.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah,
It was
come off
great,
and on, which
yeah.
actually isn't his powers, but I love that arcade game.
Yeah,
There's
that was
there's your gotcha man to everyone who's asking for it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Gotcha Man.
yeah. Yeah.
That-
They
that's the
made a
whole
live
thing.
action Gotcha Man, didn't they?
Yep,
Yeah,
They
you
must
know
have in
it.
Japan.
they,
Yeah.
they did. It looks pretty cool. I didn't
Yeah.
watch it yet. I watched Captain Harlock, the CGI one. That was pretty good.
Seven's Arc 7 was a robot in Battle of the Planets. So it was. I knew the name. I couldn't think what it was from. It's been years since I've seen it. Good memory, Alex. Wow.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen
yeah,
that was fun.
I remember that was Ed's favorite cartoon. He always loved Battle of the Planets. That was always really good. But there's so many of these shows that would make great, like Ulysses 31. I think could make an amazing sci-fi movie. You could really go dark.
Yeah,
just some cool stuff.
80s children's programming for boys was like a hotbed of science fiction concepts and stuff and horror and like in humanoids and like, and
Yeah.
everything else, right? All that cool
Visionaries and all these weird-
Visionaries.
Next to the magical light. Yeah.
Yeah.
All that.
That show was great.
Well,
The show for that, yeah.
It was funny because like when I got older, most of the cartoons I enjoyed were borrowed from Asia. It's like, oh, this was actually over in Asia, and it had a totally different, like Gotcha Man, was Battle of the Planets, and it's like, oh, okay, and they just brought it over, but it worked, and like, of course it was dubbed, but I enjoy watching it with the subtitles more.
I used to enjoy Centurions as well because, like, you had amazing characters like Ace McCloud. There's another great name.
Some
Ace
great
McCloud.
names. Yeah.
That was awesome. And then I don't know if there was a cartoon, but I remember there was toys, Supernaturals.
No, there was never a cartoon for that. But
no, I always thought there could have been. The toys were cool, like the holograms.
Yeah, they were neat.
Yeah.
That should have been a cartoon.
Yeah.
So I think that's everything I have to discuss. Does anybody else have anything they want to discuss? Any questions in the comments here? Because thanks everybody. We're getting tons of comments tonight. That's great. So we'll wait a second and see if anybody wants to ask anything.
Through, see what did I miss?
Quite a lot, yeah.
I missed a lot. Yeah, wow.
Jimmy Smith, if you're there, how about a comment? Where are you based? You don't need to give your address. I'm not going to come to your house or anything. Just say like what country. I'm not going to stalk you much. So, trying to think if there's any other news this week. I saw a trailer. I never actually posted it, but called Beckett with John David Washington. That looked kind of cool. It's sort of like a thriller or whatever. He's in Europe and he's like being chased by people. I like movies where people being chased around like foreign countries or whatever. I always think that's really cool. So trailer to that's out. And
did we talk about Mortal Kombat? You posted that trailer.
Oh yeah, the new trailer. Yeah, I haven't actually watched it yet. I just post things and don't watch
it. I'm watching it off your posting.
I don't have time. I'm a busy man.
That's awesome.
Wait, I got a funny story for you, Owen. I saw that you posted like what's the movie that just came out this Friday? Unchained. You posted an exclusive clip, and I got one too. And I meant to text you earlier, be like, you got a better one than I did because they gave me one where she's like talking to some guy at a bank or something or at a restaurant or something, and then I'm like, you got a fight clip, and I was like, wow, I was like, I got the short end of the stick on that one.
I don't think there's really a good end of the stick, to be honest, but we'll just leave it at that.
Remember, I was like, because the guy emailed me, he was like, "Will you post this?" I'm like, "Sure." And mostly, like for the most part, I've been getting good ones. And then like I watched this one, I'm like, and I said yes before I watched it. I was like, eh. I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever.
What I would love is for someone to actually give me an exclusive clip to like a good movie, like something.
I get it. Yeah.
It's always these no budget things.
I mean, yeah. Would it be so hard? Absolutely. It's like, ugh. Did anybody see Take Back with Michael J. White's wife?
I've seen that, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of low budget. I don't know, like, this is one of the meanest things I've ever said, but Mickey Rourke in that film actually looks like Johnny Handsome before he has his surgery. But, God, yeah.
The funny thing is, I've heard people. I've read reviews where they're like, for a B movie, it's really good and she's great in it, and then people just like it sucks, and it just makes me laugh because it goes back to where we were talking about reviews. It's like this person thought it was the greatest thing ever, and this person thought it was a piece of trash.
Yeah. Take Back. I watched. I actually didn't mind it. I think that she and Michael Jai White are like great on screen together. You can tell they're married because I think they have genuine on screen chemistry. I just really like that aspect of it, and I find her very appealing on screen, very likable character, and then she kicks ass in the fight scenes and everything else. So yeah, I'd like to see her do more. I'd like to see if they're going to do like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith type movie with the two of them together would be fun. Something like that. But yeah, I mean, the movie itself was low budget.
Oh, and I wanted to ask you too, because I didn't get a chance to read your review, but you got to see Black Widow.
I watched. The good thing is Disney Canada, awesome, and we got a screener for that. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, people were asking, is it a feminist movie? And I was like, oh, not this again. And I was like, no, it's not. It's really about family, and at no point did I feel I was being preached to or anything else. And I was like, no, I just enjoyed it. And also, I like watching women kick ass, so it was awesome. I like Black Widow. I liked her sister. I thought she was awesome. The action scenes were good. Halfway through, pacing kills it. It's sort of like the scene in Civil War when they're at the farmhouse, and it just kind of kills it because it just goes on just a little bit too long. This is even longer, and they could have cut 10 minutes from the movie just to make it tighter, but I think everything's too long and everything should be shorter. Like, to me, action movies should be like 90 minutes, hour and 45 minutes. Tell your story in that time. There's not really any reason to drag it out longer than that. So everything has to be like 2.5 hours now, and I'm like, some of us have to pee.
I think the best running length is an hour and 45 minutes. I think
that's perfect.
Movie in an hour and 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I like 100. Like 100 just seems like because I just did Death Wish 3 and 4. Like I did 3. I'm like, let's throw 4 in, and both of them together are 3 hours and 10 minutes, and that's 2 movies. And I'm like, I had a big, nice, large Domino's pizza, ranch dip, and I had my pop, and I'm like, let's go, baby.
That's the pinnacle of your life right there. Your life is never going to be better than that moment. Bronson and pizza. I mean, come on.
No, I literally, and I had all the movies laid out everywhere, and I had comic books laid out everywhere. I'm like, literally, this is going to be. I was off today, actually.
So was I.
Yeah. So I'm like, this is my day, and I'm like, it's beautiful. It's like, this is beautiful. I'm just watching, and so good.
It's a me day, yeah. Severio asks, has anyone seen the Russian Raid? No, everyone was asking about that. I don't really know where to watch it. Nobody contacted me about it or screener. I was like, if you didn't get me a screener, then I'm not watching it. So yeah, I've heard some good things about it though, so I will check it out if I see it, if it's on like Netflix or something. And then I need to watch that movie Extreme that you talked about, John, on Netflix at some point. So. I'll be on Tubby all the time watching stuff anyway.
Yeah, I was going to do a review for it, but like I said, my friend did it first, but I was like, that's fine. But he pretty much just said what I was going to say anyways. But yeah, I really liked it. And it you know what kind of movie you're getting when you watch it. It's like it's got the John Wick style going on, and it's like it's a pretty for Spain. I never I couldn't tell you another Spanish movie action movie that I saw before that, but so I thought that was pretty interesting.
Okay, I'll give it a watch then. Yeah. Well, Alex, I still can't believe they killed the giggler, poor giggler.
Screw that guy, man. He got shot in the back nicely. That was awesome.
Everyone's celebrating his death, man.
Yeah,
Oh, I know.
that was with the Wildy. When the Wildy came in, he's like, "My buddy's coming in." Did anyone actually? I actually got caught by that. I'm like, is he actually calling someone to help? Like, I thought it'd be like Roadhouse, where like some other guy shows up or whatever, and it's like, here it is. I'm like, well, it's obviously a weapon or something. It's like,
yeah,
that awesome. And then they make it a point to say, is it better than the 44 Magnum? He's like, yes, it's better.
It's better than the one from
that other movie. Oh, it's better than that.
And bigger. Roadhouse, man. Like I don't think I could ever be friends with someone who doesn't like Roadhouse.
Yeah, for sure.
It's do such people exist? But yeah, no, it's just amazing. It has that amazing line at the end, which can we say that? I don't care. I used to fuck guys like you in prison.
I think my best line is it's be nice until it's time to not be nice. That's a lesson for life. That is literally a life. No, Sean's laughing.
But also,
it's
pain don't hurt.
Lesson for life.
Yeah, pain don't hurt. Everybody knows that. So,
yep.
And then you got what's his name? The guy with the mustache, or he's got the beard in it. Shit, what's his name? Greatest voice of all time.
Chris Christopherson?
No, you're talking about what, like Sam Elliott or whatever?
Sam Elliott. Oh my god!
Like his friend.
Forgive me, Father, for forgetting your name.
Yeah. Who comes in?
We forget everybody's name. That's the way of thing. Oh, random thought again. Random thought. Tak Sakaguchi from Reborn should also be in John Wick 4 since they're filming part of it in Japan. I would agree with that. Yeah, because he's awesome. I would love that. Or save him for part 5, maybe, because they're like going to be 5. Save some people to be in them. So yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else coming up. Don't think so. I still haven't had dinner yet, and it's 20 to 10.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah,
I got a salad, so I'm kind of putting that off. I'm like, it's impossible to get excited about salad, but I will. So, Roadhouse versus there you go. Roadhouse versus Roadhouse 2 is the episode that people want. I actually didn't even know there was a Roadhouse 2 until a couple of years ago.
I enjoyed the second one. I mean, of course, it's you can't even compare it to the first one. Not even like, but it had Richard Norton in it, and he actually did some fighting in it. I remember that. I mean, but the guy that got to play the lead wasn't Patrick Swayze. I mean, Jonathan Skates. What was his? I think his name was
Skates. Yeah, I can't remember how to pronounce it. Yeah.
I mean, he did an okay job, but I just remember watching it, and I'm like,
wait, is he Dalton?
Like I said, I like
Is he Dalton or is he a different character?
He's his son, I think.
That's right, he's his son.
Yeah.
That's your mysterious
original concept, right?
Yeah, never heard that before.
I just remember Richard Norton was in it, and I'm a big Richard Norton fan, and he got the fight in it. So I'm like, so what do you think? I bought it. I'm like, that's my question.
Rage and Honor 2 is the best Norton movie for me.
Love Norton, everything. Yeah, Small in the Octagon as well.
Yeah, you're like totally. Yeah, or I like Under the Gun, the Australian movie.
Oh yeah.
That was just like it was so B. It looked like it was made with like $150, but it had his best fighting in it. I love that movie.
But also Gymkata, which we've spoken about before. That's the sacred text right there. So yeah.
Have you guys seen Circle of Iron?
I just remember I went off on somebody who totally was dissing on Gymkata, and I'm like, you have no right to speak of this film.
No, do not speak ill of Gymkata in our presence. Yeah. What were you saying? Circle of Iron? You saying?
Yeah. Have you guys seen that movie? Because I was going through my Death Wish movies, and that was next to it. Look up Circle of Iron.
I've heard of it. Yeah, I've seen these movies I keep seeing, but I've never actually watched it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got the special edition version when it came out on DVD or whatever, and it's the movie that Bruce Lee was supposed to make. Like, he was writing the script and all that. So check it out.
Right?
Sorry?
David Carradine's in that, right?
Right.
Yeah,
he's in that. I liked it. It's awesome. Like, I thought it was awesome. I got to rewatch it again. I was just looking through because it's like the Death Wish. They're not in order. This shelf is not very much in order. So it's like Cloak and Dagger, which I started watching because I saw that next to it, and we talked about it yesterday. Cloak and Dagger was there, so I started watching that again, and then I saw that Circle of Iron was there. I'm like, oh, I gotta watch this. So I started pulling out all these movies or whatever.
Oh,
I gotta go through that. Oh, and I just want to have an episode where I just come up with a stack of Blu-rays and just like be like, "Have you seen this one?
Have you seen this? You seen this? I mean, that we can do that like all the time because I think I've had like 3,000 or 4,000 movies. So because I only have like a couple here and the rest are all at the front room.
I always laugh when people come over my house because then I open up my cabinet and they're just like, they're all just like, oh my God, and I go over other people's house. I remember I go over my one friend's house and he's got like the smallest like shelf of DVDs. And I'm always curious, like when people don't have a lot of movies, I look at them like, why'd you buy that one? Or why'd you buy, I'm curious, like, I'm always curious, like, why'd you buy that one? And it's like,
I know
you only have 15 movies. Why'd you buy this one? It's like,
I know it's like if I go to someone's house and I always like going to someone's house and like seeing their movie collection. Wherever like J-Man, I come over to yours. I'm in that little room there for like half an hour. I'm like, it's just like kid in a candy store. And then you go to somebody's house and like they don't have movies or anything, and you're like, oh, you got books?
I'm changing. So I'm actually changing it. The master bedroom is now going to be my display room and YouTube studio. So we're changing it all around. So the small bedroom, we're changing it all up. So it's going to be crazy. But yes, Jack Flack always escapes. Yeah, that was
I'm going back here. All right. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I need to go eat. So I think we'll wrap it up there. Well, that was an hour and 45 minutes. That's maybe our longest yet. But that was a good laugh anyway. So unfortunately, John, you're away on vacation next week, so you won't be joining us for Death Wish. But J-Man, Sean,
I'll run it by my wife, but I'm sure she'll be like new.
Yeah, that's in there.
I gotta visit family. It's like it's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. Like
family first.
Yeah. So, yep.
Like I said, we're supposed to have Preston Downey on, so we'll see. Hopefully, he'll be joining us, so that'll be fun, and we'll take it from there. But so that's next Friday, so that'll be the next show. So, like I said, I've got work on Wednesday, so I probably won't be then. So, thanks everybody for joining us tonight, anyway, and have a good weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Adios.